What's interesting is the Acura Integra that everybody knows here at Acura is now the new powertrain for the all-new, new to Acura's lineup, the 2025 Acura ADX. Well, subcompact in this video is what you're going to get with regards to the subcompact sedan and subcompact SUV here at Acura. Let's go ahead and show you guys what I'm talking about the similarities of both vehicles and just bringing these cars over to you guys. Just don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's dive in and not waste your guys' time. So, starting with the Acura Integra, we all know it from the 90s and the early 2000s. You know that this is the subcompact small sedan from Acura. Well, the powertrain in the new ones, we do know, comes with 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine with the CVT or the option of a 6-speed manual. The CVT is also known as a continuous variable transmission. Now, the MPG on this exact vehicle is a 30 city and a 37 highway with a 12.5 gallon gas tank size, pushing 200 horsepower with 179 pounds-feet of torque. But what's very interesting is Acura said, hey, let's bring a subcompact SUV new to our lineup, which you get the Acura ADX. And we'd like to show you guys this and talk about it because we see that the similarities, we had to do a video on it. 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, exact same engine with the exact same transmission, the CVT. But what I'm kind of sad about is that the ADX detunes their engine 10 horsepower, 190 horsepower with 179 pounds-feet of torque. But what's interesting is that it's 200 pounds heavier than the Integra. So wouldn't you think that Acura would actually add a little bit more oomph to the vehicle? And you now have an option of a front-wheel drive and an all-wheel drive on this ADX, to whereas on the Integra, you have just a front-wheel drive option, okay? Now, let's go ahead and show you guys the real quick front ends, starting with the Acura Integra because everybody knows it. We have the dual eye LED headlights with the daytime running lights, eyebrows on top. We got the corporate Acura front end with the Acura emblem and the high gloss black lower grille. Okay, these are both A-Spec trims. This is one of 4 trims. You get an option, one of 3 trims. Okay, now if we come over to the ADX, we don't have the dual eye. These are standard headlights for the ADX. You have one single LED projector, kind of the same idea with the eyebrow, the daytime running light and the hazard on the eyebrow, as well as the corporate front end is just kind of a maximized Integra front end is what I think. High gloss black front grille and a matte black plastic lower grille with some high gloss silver trim. Coming over to the sides. On the Integra, you get a active brake vent coming over to the wheel area for that brake system. No active brake vent because you're not going to be driving the ADX the same way you drive the Integra. I drove both of them and I have to say you get more pep to your step and it feels a whole lot lighter on the Integra. Coming over to the rims and tires, this is where you're going to see a big difference. You're going to feel it on the drive. It's starting with the Integra A-Spec. You got the Continental Pro Contact coming in at a 235/40/18 with the high gloss gunmetal gray look. Coming over to the ADX, still Continental Pro Contact. The size is a 235/45/19, so a way bigger tire, right? And the high gloss gunmetal gray. Suspension systems are shock spring strut suspension. Both in the A-Spec trim, we see that here. If we come over to the side mirrors, the Integra doesn't get that integrated blinker lighting to whereas the ADX does get it. So you're going to see some differences here. And dimensions, since we're here on the side, on the dimensions, the length is exactly the same, coming in at 186 inches in length. All right. Width, exactly the same, coming in at 73 inches. Where you're going to see the difference is the 9 inches in difference of height. Okay, so ADX is sitting a whole lot higher than the Integra, obviously, right? Then we come over to the doors, of course. You got the subcompact sedan doors compared to the subcompact SUV. So you're getting a way bigger door here as well, okay? Both handles do come smart access keyless fob entry, so you pull the handles towards you guys when your key fob's in your purse or pocket and they completely open up, all right? Then we come over to the wheelbases, okay? So the wheelbases on both are completely different. On the Acura Integra, you're gonna have a 107.7 inch wheelbase, which is longer than the ADX, coming in at 104.5-inch wheelbase. Over to, again, this is where you're going to see a lot of difference. You got that kind of sedan tailgate look here on the Integra. We know these coming in from the old ones. And then we have the subcompact SUV look. Reminds me of the HRV here, okay? Over to the rear Integra. This is what our rear taillights look like. The Integra engraved in the bumper. We also get the A-Spec here on the left, as well as the bumper fascia and the lower diffuser, okay? A backup camera right over the license plate, kind of low. If we come over to the ADX, we got the spoiler up top, integrated brake light, privacy glass, right? So it's a little bit more upright, comes up to a bit more flat to where you have more of a turtle shape on that Integra. Taillights are a whole lot different on the SUV, A-Spec, and the ADX all-wheel drive. Backup camera here, which leads us over to the Nilo.com license plate. And we'd like to give them a shout out and a thanks here at Nilo Acura in Roseville, California at the Roseville Automobile. And we'd like to thank them for providing us this comparison video because they gave us these cars. Over to the bumper fascias, same idea with the high gloss black, but you get your parking reflectors and your dual tip exhaust, okay? Same high gloss black diffuser, so you can kind of see the resemblance from them being in the same family, all right? Let's go ahead and open up the cargo. Standard on the ADX is the electric opening tailgates, where you don't get that here on the Integra. It's actually a lifting tailgate. And what's actually pretty funny is that you get the same cargo capacity, 24 cubic feet of space in the Integra and 24 cubic feet of space in the ADX with the second row seat up. You got a mesh pocket here with no spare tire here in the Integra, but you get this as well, okay? So let's go ahead and push that down. You can drop those. You got a 60%er on the left, 40%er on the right. That's what it looks like, but the front seats are backed up. 24 cubic feet of space. I kind of like the entryway here better on the ADX, I have to say. It has that SUV platform, and you also get more cubby room along with your spare tire. So that's a big plus on the ADX, okay? Little cubby room, a 12-volt outlet, that's another big plus. But you can drop the 60%er on the left. And what's really cool about this is you can actually sleep on it because it's the same level from the floorboard of the cargo area over to the back of those seats. Really awesome. You can actually probably use this for a camping trip and put a sleeping bag back there. Love that, all right? That's probably one of my biggest wins from Integra over to ADX if I had to buy a subcompact vehicle from Acura. Now that we're done with showing you guys the differences on the exterior, talking about the powertrains and cargo, let's go ahead and show you interiors. Before we continue with this video, if you find yourself in the Sacramento, California, or the greater Sacramento area like Rockland, Roseville, Elk Grove, and many other cities, if you need a passenger van rental for the friends and the family for the fun activities such as San Francisco, Napa Valley Wine Country, Yosemite, Lake Tahoe, Yellowstone, and many other places, use the link in the description below and rent from Vagabond Van Rentals. We also deliver. Thanks, guys. Let's go ahead and continue with this video. Continuing now with the interior, we're sitting inside, as you guys can tell, the Acura Integra. Now, we're going to show you guys the similarities with regards to the resemblance of the interior, but we're also going to talk about what the A-Spec ADX gets you over the A-Spec Integra. Now, we got to start talking about some price tags, honestly. So, entry level of the Integra is $34,000 MSRP for the base trim. Entry level for the ADX is $36,000 and some change, okay? Those are for the base. Now, if you want to know the price tags on the A-Spec trims, well, the price tag in this video is $35,000 MSRP for the A-Spec in this video on the Integra. The ADX A-Spec is $40,000 in this video, but that's also because it's all-wheel drive. So if you get the front-wheel drive, you can minus the $2,000, and you get $38,000 for the A-Spec trim ADX. Now let's go ahead and show you guys why you would probably want to buy the ADX over the Integra, okay? Now, I did mention the length is the same, the width is the same, the only thing different is the height, and you're going to see a lot of that inside this cabin because you have the kind of subcompact sedan, starting with the seats. All right, you get a way simplified seat here in the Integra, manual control, as well as no perforation and no suede, where the ADX actually gets you electric control and suede inserts, and the different color just makes you want to buy that ADX a whole lot more. In front, of course, we kind of have the same resemblance. The dashboards do change a little bit, but the color schemes kind of remain with the darker grays. You do have a kind of a pinstriped textured inlay in the Integra that you don't get necessarily this little style here in the ADX. Over to the screen, bigger screen in the ADX. Here you get kind of the smaller screen. You see in the higher trims of the Integra, like the Type S, you'll get the bigger screen as well with more touch sensitive panels, but hard buttons here, where the ADX doesn't have any hard buttons here on the bottom. Coming over to the menu button here, this is what it looks like. Okay, very simple. You can touch sensitive, very responsive to no lag. Bluetooth settings, you do get the Apple CarPlay also in this. We drop down to the climate control. Here in the A-Spec Integra, you get a single climate control, and you're going to see that here. Okay, that's a way to control your temperature, way to control your mode, and then way to control your airflow vent. Oh, another thing that the ADX gets you over the Integra and the A-Spec trim is ventilated seats, okay? So the Integra doesn't have ventilation here, but they do have heated. It just doesn't have ventilation. I'm going to show you guys that in a little bit. One USB-A plug-in with a 12-volt outlet in the Integra. No wireless charging pad. ADX gets you more plug-ins and a wireless charging pad. We have the shift lever, exact same shift lever. Dynamic mode, you're losing one mode in the Integra. That's a snow mode. You still get the sport, the normal, and the comfort. You're just missing the snow mode because the ADX has the all-wheel drive. Cup holders are different placements. I'm going to show you guys that in a little bit. Big difference also is the big panoramic glass, the tilt slide moonroof option that you get in the ADX. I'm going to show you guys that as well. Come over to the cluster. Cluster is exactly the same. All right, same setup. You can actually change your info cards there in the center as well. All right, steering wheel does come stitched A-Spec stand, but you don't get a flat bottom steering in the Integra, to where here on the here in the ADX, you get the flat bottom. I'm going to show you guys that as well. Paddle shifters in both on the left-hand side. A big difference here in the panel. All right, you're getting a tailgate lift button here because it's automatic lift, traction control in the ADX, as well as the door panel, smaller door panel, as you guys know, with the different design and the controls here too, okay? Now if we go over to the back, this is probably gonna be another big difference here in the compact sedan. Now to put things into perspective for you guys, I'm about 6 feet 2 inches, and you guys can already tell this is where those 9 inches in difference of height will come in with regards to the subcompact vehicles at Acura, all right? Huge difference up top here, right? Only short people could probably be back here. And in front, we lose the air vents. The ADX do come with the air vents back here, and because of the A-Spec trim, you get the USB-C plugins where you don't get them here in the Integra, okay? So no armrest as well with no cup holders. Big difference, all right? Now remember, guys, this one is coming in at $35,000. If you go with the front-wheel drive ADX, which is about $3,000 more, we're going to show you right now what $3,000 can get you extra in the subcompact SUV at Acura. Let's do it. Now the interior of the ADX, and remember, guys, again, for an extra $3,000, check out these seats. Way different on the feel and the look of the inside of this vehicle, okay? You also get electric controlled. You get ventilation on these seats for an A-Spec ADX. In front, look at the front dashboard. Different color schemes, different inlay setup, different scheme. Beautiful look. Look at the screen itself as well. No hard buttons down here. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Check that out. And you go back up. Let's go to general settings. This is what your general settings looks like. Okay. Interface looks a whole lot more rich in here, and then we go ahead and show you guys the backup camera. That's what it looks like. Bigger screen, all right? Kind of the same tech or interface for the camera. Dropping down, we get a dual climate control unit, as well as ventilated seats, buttons just like that, okay? USB-C plugins instead of one USB-A, 12-volt outlet, and a wireless charging pad. 2 cup holders, but different placed, so the center console does look different. As well as this, the shift lever and the control unit here resembles each other very much so. You just get an extra drive mode, which is snow, and you also get the hill descent control mode too, okay? Popping up, more center console area. Over the center console, remember I told you guys that big panoramic glass, tilt slide moonroof option, that's another huge thing right there, okay? Also, over to the cluster. Remember I told you guys resembling, yes, exactly the same cluster. We're not spending too much time here. A-Spec steering wheel, flat bottom. That's another big thing. I love these flat bottom steering, kind of gets you a bit sportier feel. Come over to the door panels. Door panels look a whole lot richer. All right, get the high gloss black. We have the ambient lighting as well on the door panels and on the dashboard, as well as the tailgate lift button. Okay, you get that too. You can open that from the inside. So if you have the kiddos and they want to throw something back there real quick, you press that button. And you got more of a simplified door panel, I have to say, with regards to how the setup of the switches are. But again, I don't think that's a big deal for me. Now let's go ahead and shoot over to the second row seating and drop these MSRP stickers. Look at the comfort back here. I mean, get a load of this, right? Armrest, cup holders, up top reading lights and the LED true light lighting. We also have the air vents back here, as well as the 2 USB-C plug-ins. So you're getting so much more on that price tag, okay? Look at the door panels as well. Phenomenal look. Now, maybe you can't afford the A-Spec and you actually want an ADX just because of the space or the setup. Well, go with the base model. Coming in at like $36,000. $36,400 or something like that, right? And your Integra base model is coming in at around $34,000. So honestly, I have to say, go with that MSRP base priced ADX. That's the one I would incline to, all because of the setup from the exterior to the cargo to the interior, just a whole lot better. Now, here's the MSRP sticker to this A-Spec Integra, so you guys get an idea of what it comes with the price tag on top. Here's the MSRP sticker to the ADX A-Spec, so you guys get an idea of that too. Hopefully you guys liked it. Check out our other reviews at Acura, at our channel at Vagabond Builds with James and Sandu for the Acura reviews like Integra, MDXs, ADXs, and so much more. Thank you so much. Keep watching. We have more cool things coming. God bless you.